As the high-level committee led by former President Ramnath Kovind on Thursday unanimously backed simultaneous polls for the Lok Sabha state assemblies and local bodies, state and local tiers are called for a raft of constitutional amendments to achieve the goal, potentially setting the stage for the far-reaching but controversial reform that can reshape the world's largest democracy. Another debate has been ignited, and senior advocate Gopal Sankara Nara said if the one nation, one election has to be implemented as suggested in the report, an article to bring out the change has to be inserted, and for that, an amendment for the constitution with two-thirds majority plus also have half the states giving their consent will be required. It will be a fairly long process, and Sankara Nara said that the committee had looked at it as a simplistic, straightforward manner, looking for only 10 years. But they should also look at the various provisions of the Constitution, including emergency powers, President's rule, etc., which will need to be altered and changed. Until the comprehension exercise is made, it may be short-sighted. He further said on a practical plane, it makes no sense at all and completely unnecessary.
So, what will the further process of one nation, one election implementation, and what will will it be practical for the nation?
If they have to implement it as they suggest in the report, they want to include and insert an Article 83A or something to bring about the change. That would require an amendment of the Constitution with two-thirds majority plus also half the states giving its consent. So it's a fairly long drawn-out process. And I think they have looked at it in a very simplistic, straightforward manner, looking at only 10 years. They should also look at all the various provisions of the Constitution, including emergency powers, President's powers, President's rule, etc., which will need to be altered and changed. So until you do that comprehensive exercise, I think it may be short-sighted. On a practical plane, I think it makes no sense at all, because we have seen how governments are created, parliaments and legislatures have been created in the last 75 years, and we haven't seen any particular problem that needs to be fixed which require this. Also, we can see going forward, if you do decide to have them all at one go, what happens if support is pulled for one party which is in power in, say, Himachal, and the government falls there? Is it going to wait 4 years for the next round? Or are you going to have a by-election there? Are you going to have a fresh election for the legislature there? What are you going to do? What is your plan going forward? And if it happens in 5, 6 different states, President's rule gets imposed for 4 years. Suppose it happens at the center. What happens? Who runs the country? So, in my view, it's thoroughly impractical and complete.
Meanwhile, BJP leader Prakash Reddy said on one nation, one election is an important issue. It will solve many problems and will cause curb black money.
Important issue. The BJP government and the earlier governments also pursued this matter for constitutional amendment or any other legal amendments. And the government, under the leadership of Narendra Modi, they have appointed one committee, the former Honorable President of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, and they have submitted a report today. But this is a serious topic, and this issue to be discussed among the political parties and among the intellectuals, and this should be discussed among the even legislators also sometimes. And this problem has to be resolved any moment. We are for one nation, one elections. It is not that one nation, one elections will hamper only the development. For repeated elections will influence the political issues. That is a different issue. Repeated elections is one of the issues. That is not every issue for this election. This type of policies. Policies for one time, 2 times elections are like American type of elections, or legislatures for one time and parliament elections for one time, or local body elections are for other time. This has to be discussed by the political parties and the system also, and when the legal matters has to be resolved. This will solve many of the problems. Not only the importance of electoral election commission, it is also influences the, even sometimes we can even amend about the code of election code, something like that. So for developmental activities, some policy decisions will be hampered. That is one of the issues. That is not the main issue. That is not the only issue. There are many other issues to be discussed, to be resolved, and one nation, one elections will resolve many of the issues. And I am telling you, interesting point, The Jansangh party, the erstwhile BJP party, in 1967, they promised for one nation, one tax. And that has realized in 2016 or 2017. So one nation, one tax, it was a dream for 40 years for BJP system, but it is now resolved. And we are seeing the results. So similarly, one nation, one elections is also solves many problems related to the democratic system. And I hope these elections, this type of policies. I am telling you, this is also curbs the black money sometimes. This is also curbs the industrialists or somebody's contributions. This is also influences that. So one nation, one elections, not only development activities, many other activities, many other issues will be addressed.